going on, people? Welcome to another Flex's View, man. This is where I get into my bag, into my thoughts and share them with you guys. It's just off the back of the morning show, actually, because when we finished the morning show, I did see the Sancho reports quite early and decided not to lead with that for the morning show straight off the bat. Thought we'll just sort of see, you know, what other accounts talk about this and stuff like that. Don't want to really just be piling on the negativity and things like that. So we kind of decided not to lead with that. Kind of spoke about it really near the end. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, actually, that probably does need addressing as to what's going to happen here and where we think this is going to go. Is there a little bit of an update on that and what my thoughts were on it, really, if I'm being honest? Because with what this report in Bild was claiming, and there's some other reports out there in Germany claiming the same thing. Team Talk are quite a big outlet. They're claiming some stuff in the reports, which I'll go through in a minute, which is what's led me to even think about this more intently. Like, it is quite a big deal. It is quite a big deal. And like with Ineos coming in with a bunch of decisions they have to make, you know, they need to get a lot of these decisions right. And so Jim's not going to want to be hanging around and leaving Man United in a poor position like we have been regarding certain players. Mason Greenwood was also part of that with Fabrizio, basically saying that he expects Mason Greenwood to leave on a permanent transfer. So I'm going to talk less so about that, but more about this Jadon Sancho situation. And what we saw from aggregator accounts that picked it up from Bild and outlets out there in Germany is that they were saying that Jadon Sancho does not want to return to Man United under Ten Hag. He blames Ten Hag for his downturn in his career. So that's the first bit that makes a lot of people on social media, if you look at the comments, what the F, his fault, unprofessional, da-da-da-da. Now, I'm not gonna go back. I'm not really gonna get back into, well, it's his fault. He stood up against the manager. He said what he said in public, and I've done all that. I want to look forward into what this thing's gonna look like. The other part of these reports are sort of saying that Dortmund are planning a secret Sancho deal, basically, which is how they're going to be able to keep him and how they're going to be able to work on him staying there. A secret Sancho plan is what it's been quoted as. And what this report says is that Bild stated that Dortmund Chiefs are already working on a secret Sancho plan to bring the winger back to the club until at least the summer of 2025. That likely means they'd be on board with another loan, this time being a year-long affair and not just 6 months. It also goes on to say a loan would do little to benefit United in the here and now, though if no permanent offers are received, it may prove a worthy compromise at the end. So their secret plan, Dortmund, we'll start with the secret plan first, right, and then we'll get to the Sancho blaming Ten Hag bit. Basically, Dortmund are saying, well, in 6 months, it's not really enough to get him up to speed. You know, we're getting close to the end of the season. There's about 10 games left. And he's been up and down. The Dortmund manager was talking yesterday about, you know, the conversations he's had with him. And Jadon hasn't been happy with his performances recently, and most recently in the game where he played. I think he scored. And that's what he likes about him, blah, 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 blah. But Dortmund are basically, according to this report, saying, well, there's not really going to be a lot of takers for Jadon Sancho in the summer. It's not like he's gone to Dortmund, lit it up, and now he's one of the hottest properties around Europe again. He still needs to find his feet. They still believe they can get the best out of him again, but they need longer. So it's not like they're in a big pool of teams whereby there's bids flying in for Jadon Sancho left, right and centre, and they feel like they're going to miss out on him. What they're saying is they're going to play this smart. If we offer Man United a loan deal, we know he ain't going to stay there, especially if Erik Ten Hag stays. But even if he doesn't, they're probably going to go in a new direction. Sancho doesn't want to go back there, according to the reports. And he wants to be with us. And financially, we can probably loan him out for another year. And Man United will have to take that. Now, that will do us no good. The only good it would do us is that, well, we can't have him exiled again. I do agree with that. You can't have him back at United just in the under-23s or training with the kids. That cannot happen again. For the good of the club, for the good of the player, for the good of us trying to move forward in a positive light, that can't happen. And if we can't sell him because there's no offers around the continent for decent money, and Dortmund are the only ones really at the table because he's on big wages and stuff like that, sending him out on loan for another year to get his wages off the book that year or whatever it looks like now to do that for another year might be the maximum we can get. But that's because we've allowed this situation to get to where it is. We're now in the worst position. We don't have the power anymore. You know, Dortmund are seeing it, rightly or wrongly, they're seeing it as They have the power. They're the ones who can say, actually, I'll tell you what, who's trying to buy Jadon? No one's trying to buy him. No one's come to you and slapped 50 million down, and they're not going to do it off the back of where he's been. So you got no offers. We're just going to sit tight. We'll offer you a loan deal for another year, take his wages off the books, and you're going to have to. You can't have him sit back in the academy just training with the kids. So what you have to let him stay at us. You have to let him stay here. The only thing that can really change that, which I don't think will happen though, even if there is a new manager, is if Ineos do get a new manager and that manager says, no, listen, I'm telling you now, he is going to be my main guy. I'm going to reignite his career at Man United. But I just think with how messy it's been for Sir Jim Ratcliffe to sort of say, you know, we've got the new manager and we wanted to go in this direction. It's probably a little bit messy. But stranger things have happened in football. Like, it's not beyond the realms of possibility for Jim Ratcliffe to say we got a new manager. You know, under our vision, you know, Jadon's someone who we would have gone after. We believe in him, and the new manager believes in him, and it's a clean slate. We want to go forward, and the quicker you do that and get him back into the squad and playing, and maybe we see a different Jadon Sancho, then maybe that can happen. But I think it's less likely, but it's not impossible. The bit about Jadon Sancho blaming Erik ten Hag, I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because it's a report that's come out of Germany that's claiming that Sancho said this. I don't know how true that is. But do I think that Sancho thinks that? In my personal opinion? Well, I think it's 6 to 1, half a dozen the other, really. Sancho, in my opinion, with the steps that he took to express himself, to defend himself, once he went down that route and didn't want to say sorry, I think Sancho done that to himself. There was a route back for Jadon. If he said sorry, if he made up with the manager, even if he didn't agree with what the manager said and vice versa, 2 adults, 2 men, say your piece both sides and get back to playing football and proving him wrong and doing what you need to do to get back in the team. But Jadon took so much exception to what Erik ten Hag said after that Arsenal game that it was done. It was only ever going to be repaired if he said sorry, which Jadon wasn't prepared to do. Now, I'm not going to get into he should have said sorry and this, that and the other. We've done that. We've been there and done that. That is definitely old news. But whether you think he should have apologised or he didn't, the fact is that there was no apology, and he was never going to get back into Erik ten Hag's plans. Even with how poor we've been, with Anthony's situation going on, Mason Greenwood isn't here anymore. We've got injuries. You know, there's a perfectly fit player there in Jadon Sancho we paid a lot of money for that we should be trying to get someone out of. But instead, we've had to burn out Garnacho, had to play Rashford on the right. We've had to bring in Ahmad here and there. We've had to play Amari Forson in one game. Like, there's been so much that we've tried to do because of this situation. So it didn't come, and Sancho stuck to his guns. So he ain't going to want to come back. And is he going to blame Erik ten Hag for that? Sancho probably does. Like, in his personal opinion, he probably thinking, nah, man. Like, that Eric, like, nah, ten Hag don't do this or ten Hag don't do that. I'm not going to get into the definites of what he's saying because I don't know. I'm just saying, like, clearly the fact that he didn't apologise shows us that he's like, nah, I'm not messing with you, Erik ten Hag, after that. I ain't saying sorry because I believe I'm in the right and I believe you threw me under the bus. That's how Sancho sees it. I've been there when I said I disagreed with that take, and, you know, I think he should have apologised, even if it was just for apologising sake to get back in the team and put it behind him. But he didn't do that, and that's Sancho's reality. That's his prerogative, and he has to stand by that decision, which he has done by standing firm, getting to January and going to Dortmund. So my guess, and you see how happy he is there and how he was talking in the media and stuff like that on their social media platforms too. He's happy there. He knows it there. He's probably going to want another season there, I think. Whatever that looks like, I don't think he's going to want to come back to Man United. But what would it look like if a new manager did say to Jadon, look, I know what happened with Erik. It's done. He's gone now. I believe in you. I want you to come back and be a big part of this. Maybe Sancho might say yes. I don't know. But Dortmund seem to have it that they're saying, we got a secret Sancho plan. They're going to be in a shit situation by the time it gets to summer. No one's really going to... Let's face it, Jadon Sancho, between now and the end of the season, is not going to play so well that he's so sought after around the world again, around Europe. It's not going to happen. It's not. Where we can charge 50 million and all that. It's not. So our best bet is for him to keep that relationship with Dortmund and let them take him back on a permanent. But what they're saying is money-wise, I tell you what, if we're smart and they're entitled to do this, we don't even have to take him back on a permanent. What we can do is get another loan with an option to buy or obligation to buy for a year, and we can raise the funds that way. But for us, that's shit. We don't want that. We need the money now if we don't want Jadon Sancho to be here. So look, less so about Sancho's a disgrace and how is he going to blame Ten Hag. There might be people that get into that today. I don't really want to get into that. There's enough negativity as it is, but I just thought it was important to discuss, you know, what that report was claiming, the bit about the secret Sancho plan, because actually on a bigger scale, what we can deal in terms of facts is the fact that his stock hasn't gone up since he's gone to Dortmund, has it? His stock hasn't gone up. There aren't going to be a bag of suitors saying we'll offer you 40, 50 million pounds right now. Here's the money. And that puts Dortmund in a strong position. And actually, this is probably more of a Sancho review to see where we're at with him, because it comes out at a timely situation, because they do pose some things that we do need to think about as a club. Actually, we're still not in a great position. We wanted Jadon Sancho to go there and light it up and raise his value so that it gets to the end of the season. We say, lovely, see, look how good Jadon is. It works out best for both parties. Give us 45 million, please. Give us 50 million or whatever it is we can get. But as it stands, Dortmund are like, we've only had him 6 months, had a couple of injuries, still hasn't got up to speed. We think we can get him back up to speed, but it's going to take longer. Let's take him for a year. It helps us financially. Man United have to say yes because they've got no other options. They can't have him back just sitting there, not playing in the reserves again, in under 23s again, training with the kids. So they're going to have to loan him to us or find some agreement where it's a loan with an obligation and then we're in the driving seat. So as it stands, I would probably say Dortmund are in the driving seat. And I still think Jadon Sancho won't return to Man United. I just don't think it's going to happen. So let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know if you think there is a way that he can return. Let me know if you think there's a way that, you know, a new manager comes in and Jadon Sancho can stay. Or do you see what Dortmund are saying? Actually, they're in the driving seat. They can offer us a shit deal or a deal that maybe we don't want because we're not getting money up front, whereby we have to loan him out again and get his wages off the books. Or do you believe in Sir Jim and think, no, you believe in this new structure, they're going to be ruthless, they're going to be, you know, paying attention to detail and saying, no, there is going to be a permanent solution to this right now. And we're going to write off what we need to write off. But if the transfer fee is 35 million or 40 million, then so be it. But we're committing you to the funds. How do you think this is going to play out? Let me know in the comments boxes below. Take care, guys. I'm out of here. Smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Take care. Peace.